In a world where chaos and anarchy reigned supreme, the people of a great kingdom found themselves in desperate need of order and protection. They were plagued by war, poverty, and crime, and the only thing that seemed to bring them any semblance of peace was the iron-fisted rule of their king. The king, however, was not content with simply maintaining the status quo. He wanted absolute power, and he was willing to do whatever it takes to achieve it. The king's rule was absolute, and his subjects had no say in how they were governed. They were forced to obey his every command, and those who dared to speak out against him were dealt with swiftly and brutally. The king's power was absolute, and his subjects had no choice but to submit to his will. But as the years passed, the people began to realize that this kind of rule was unsustainable. They could not continue to live in fear, and they could not continue to be ruled by a tyrant who cared nothing for their well-being. They began to search for a way to overthrow the king and establish a new system of governance that would ensure their freedom and security. One man, a brilliant thinker, had a bold idea. He proposed that the people should come together and form a social contract. An unwritten agreement in which they would surrender some of their individual rights in exchange for the protection and security provided by the state. The people would be governed by laws, not by the whims of a single ruler, and they would have a say in how they were governed. The people of the kingdom were skeptical at first, but they soon realized that this was their only hope for a better future. They rallied behind the thinker and his idea, and together they overthrew the king and established a new system of governance based on the principles of social contract. The new government was not perfect, but it was a vast improvement over the old regime. The people were no longer ruled by a tyrant, but by laws that protected their rights and ensured their security. And although they had given up some of their individual freedom, they had gained a far greater freedom in return, the freedom to live in a society where they were treated with dignity and respect. As the kingdom prospered and the people thrived under the new system, the thinker's idea spread to other lands, inspiring others to establish similar systems of governance based on the principles of social contract. And thus, the world was forever changed, as the people realized that true freedom and security could only be achieved through a social contract, where individuals come together and collectively agree to give up some of their rights for the greater good.